Hey guys, welcome back to Cool Conversations,
your favorite podcast on ice.
Today we have with us some of our internet friends. I'm so excited to introduce them. Many of you guys know and love their story, and you've gotten to know them as a couple online and followed their journey. Today we have with us Demi and Tom.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. We are excited.
All right, guys, before we get into it, we have to do an icebreaker, so we'll see you on the ice. Are you guys ready?
I guess so.
Like, y'all ready for this?
And I'm just gonna.
There you go. Yeah.
Impressive. All right.
Okay, so because you guys are standing and you're mobile, we're gonna try some tricks.
Okay.
We always start with something simple. Swizzles are the easiest, so we'll start with those.
Okay.
You're gonna get your heels to kiss.
Okay.
And we'll move over so you guys have some space. There you go.
From this way.
Oh.
All right. Sure.
Yeah, your heels are gonna kiss, and then you're gonna push forward, and your toes are gonna kiss. If you want your arms out for support,
Okay.
that is.
You have to go this way, otherwise you're gonna hit me.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Those legs are working.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait.
I feel like the more
be like
you
you're
bend
bad.
your knees, there you go.
Wait. This
I'll
is
be
hard to
like
go.
I'll give you a little push.
Damn, you're swizzling. You're really swizzling.
That's hard.
Yeah, I feel like you just the heels squeeze those legs.
Do it again.
So if you bend your knees and you get pressure from the beginning, that's how you're gonna, and then you're gonna squeeze your toes. So it's all in the legs, really. There you go.
That was a
Yeah.
swizzle.
Yeah. Squeeze. Yeah.
Like push out with the outside of your legs, and then when you come in, you want to feel like all of this being pulled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going like that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
Wow, Peter.
We've got some good
It's like you've done this
glide.
before.
Whoa.
I'm pretty sure that was not it.
There it is.
Whoa, there we go.
Yeah. Speed.
Nice. Nice mouse.
One more swizzle.
One more swizzle. Squeeze those
This one's
inner
got swizzle in
thighs.
his
There we go.
Come on.
Need some encouragement.
There we go. How are you feeling about spinning?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down to give it a shot.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to demonstrate for the class?
What are we doing? A 2-foot spin?
2-foot spin.
Nice and fast, okay?
Yeah.
That's it.
Wait, you
So fast.
step over so we can see their faces.
Dang.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was impressive.
Ready?
Yeah.
Do you have to go in?
Yes.
So you want to use
Twist
your hands like
the
you're sweeping a
opposite
table.
direction.
Okay.
Sweeping table.
Pull in.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
a double. Ready to see a triple?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Here I go.
Damn, I'm so proud of you already.
Yeah.
I closed my eyes. I was nervous.
I feel like we could go like this. And you'd be like, yeah.
You did it! Yes! You nailed it!
Damn it.
Lay it down. Pick it up, Tom.
Okay.
I think you're gonna hit me.
Wait, how am I going to push out? Wait. Okay, let me do it one more time.
If you put your toe in, it can give you
Toe
like
in?
a little. Yeah, like I put my toe in, your left toe, and you use that to kind of give you something to push off of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another. Woo! Nailed it!
We're better at spinning than swizzling.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you guys want to try something together?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. We always gotta start people off with the classic, which is we're just gonna
yes.
spin in.
Yes.
Should we do this? No, I feel like you guys need the dip.
I think
we'll do
so.
the dip.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna be out. You're
Okay.
gonna spin under, and then he is going to.
Add a little flair.
All right.
Wait. You can't just, I have no idea what I'm doing. Demi's like, all right. Got it.
You're like, let's go.
You have to go over there, right?
Yes. Yep. Perfect. Okay. And then we're gonna
Out.
do arms out.
And then I spin
You're
in.
gonna spin in.
Yes.
Yes. You're gonna turn one more time so that you are, yes. And that's the dip right there. Yes.
Okay.
So you can actually, he's gonna lift your arm up so when you spin under, you're actually, yes, and then you're here.
Oh, okay.
So there's one turn with the arm up and then,
Ooh, 2 turns?
yes,
All right.
and then you're gonna turn like half a turn.
You ready?
I guess so.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't.
He's like, I got ya. Okay, so this is a dip, like it's like a dip and a twist.
It's definitely like a trust fall for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. If you guys don't feel comfortable doing it, it's okay.
Yeah. So Ryan's arms are stacked on top of each other, crisscross.
Okay,
Yeah.
now.
Okay. And you're gonna hold on. You're gonna keep holding on to the right and left arm like this.
Okay.
Yes.
This one's gonna be let go in a moment. Here we go.
Okay, and you're gonna go on your toes, and he is going to just, you use your elbows to get down, and he's gonna flip you.
You're not gonna let me?
Yeah. No, I didn't let you flip. I'm sorry. So yeah, if he gets, Tom is like, I don't know.
That's your swizzle because you did so good on the swizzle.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Wait, do it one more.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I kind of prevented him from.
Break your face.
Okay, if you don't feel comfortable, we can do something else too.
Do something else.
Do you want to do something else? You want to try?
Try it.
I can catch you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He'll.
Oh,
Okay.
Peter's the one doing it. I'm not. Oh, okay, then we're
Yeah,
good.
like this.
So you go here, and then.
Okay. I thought I was gonna be Peter in this situation. I was like, there's no chance.
Oh, you were. Oh, you. Yeah, you're.
Oh, I am? What?
He's like, I don't know.
I think that. Wait, try with Demi first.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So.
come back a little bit. Okay. So the one trick is for you to get
You go on your toes. Yeah.
Fall.
Oh yeah.
Just keep straight.
Yeah. So you just like
Straight.
stand up tall.
I got you. Ready?
Do you?
He knows how to.
That's the scariest part of my life. I don't think I'm gonna get up.
So you're gonna be facing straight, I guess. Yeah. And then you're gonna hop from forward to backwards and land.
One more time.
Yeah, you're gonna push off of your left, and the easiest way to show it to you without the
Okay.
hop is you're gonna turn your body and you're gonna land
Think of
backwards
turning your
on
body
your
first.
right. So if you just, yes, that's exactly it. Yes, and then you can add the hop for more like
Flare.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's some quick footwork.
All right.
You go first.
Yeah.
You go first.
Do you want a hand? Do you want to give him a hand so he can feel confident?
So it's just a.
Ow.
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna do it.
No hands. Look,
No hands.
Okay.
Watch me do it with no hands, girl. Drop it to the floor. Here we go.
Okay. You look like you're prepping. You're prepping for a triple axel
I
right
was.
there. Okay. All right, Peter will help with the hand
Okay.
support. Whoa!
Oh.
That was really. You went for it.
That was, yeah.
You literally went for
Can you
it.
give a bow for the camera? Perfect. Perfect. So we're facing this way.
Okay.
And you're just gonna lean out and then back in. And then you can stand up. So it's just like a little romantic pose.
Yes.
The trick for that one is that
Yeah.
you guys are right behind each other. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Okay, I might be holding her and you might be holding me.
so Tom, your right leg on the inside of her right leg. Try to get there first.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
You're going to use that as support for you.
Yes.
And then take your left
already
leg
feel
and you're going to
unstable.
lunge over directly on.
We did it.
Okay, and go. Great job, you guys. We like to start our podcast asking our couples how did they meet because we love a good
Meet cute.
Aw.
Dem, you want to take this one?
I was going to give it to you, but sure. Well, it's kind of crazy and doesn't make a lot of sense. But Tom and I both were living here in Pittsburgh and we did not know one another. We were both teachers at that time and we decided separately to just move to Arizona to teach out there. So I moved a week before
Wow,
Tom.
that's so crazy that you guys were.
We didn't know each other.
We lived
were
like
doing
a
this-
block away
Yeah.
as well. Like,
Wow.
We were
Yeah.
like down the street
And
from one
just
another.
fate was working.
It
in your
was
favor
working hard.
behind the scenes.
Yes.
Wow.
So we both moved out to Arizona. I was there for 1 week, and then the following week Tom moved there. We had like a mutual friend, and Tom like sent me a friend request, and I reached out to the mutual friend. I was like, "Who's this Tom guy? What's he all about?" And our mutual friend was like, "Oh yeah, he's actually a teacher too from Pittsburgh. I think he just moved to Arizona." So I was like, "Okay."
How did you find Demi though when you sent that friend request? Were you guys at the same school in Arizona then? Or
No.
same circle?
I think it was on Bumble.
So I moved out to Arizona. I didn't know anybody. So I made like a
friends or Bumble.
Oh, I wasn't trying to make friends.
I made a Bumble BFF, and like at the time when you created it, it made just a Bumble account. So he saw me on there, and it was connected to my Instagram.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I never saw Tom on Bumble, but he sent me that friend request, so I slid into the DMs.
Yeah, Dem made the first move.
And then the rest is history.
Well,
You saw his profile and you're like, did you think he was cute?
You know what? I did not have dating or anything of the sorts in mind at all. I was just like, I don't know anybody. He's a fellow teacher. He's from the East
a
Coast.
fellow teacher.
Yeah. Like we understand each other's language.
Yeah.
And then he invited me over to the pool. He actually, though, I almost didn't go because Tom gave me the wrong address.
On
Oh,
accident.
Tom.
I moved down there. I was down there for like 3 days. So
Okay.
I gave you my apartment number as the street address, which was not
Tom was
correct.
getting cold feet.
Yeah, and I like showed up to this doctor's office, and I was like, "This isn't right." But you know how
Dr.
Arizona
Tom?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. How like it's like east and
It's a grid
and
system.
west.
Yes, it's so
So-
easy to get turned around.
So I was like, "Oh, maybe I just went the wrong direction." So then I had to like cross the other side. I was like an hour late, and I hate being late. So like, you know what? Maybe I just don't go. But then I did.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And I was like, and she pulls in, and I know I messed up. So I'm like running out to the car in Arizona heat. I like meet her. I'm like, I'm Tom. Nice to meet you.
Do you want to get into my air conditioned car while I park?
Yeah, it was great.
So when you guys first met, was there instant attraction, or do you think, oh yeah,
Yeah.
right away you're like, okay.
Yeah, I remember sitting, because I got into your car to like park, and I was just trying not to be like staring at you. I was like,
Just doing one of these.
Yeah,
just
I was
like,
it was, and then we went to a pool party. So
Yeah.
Demi's, I'll never forget. I'll never forget her walking out of the pool at one point. And I feel like everyone was just like,
this is very similar to mine and Mariah's meet
Oh,
cute. Pensacola Beach, Florida. Mariah
There you
had
go.
bathing suit, body jewelry.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Back in my heyday,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was a little,
Love
We
it.
love it. We love it.
Demi had a black onesie, but it like was
a
like
onesie.
what? No, black
One Piece.
one piece.
Dad mode is really showing.
Yeah.
It had buttons.
And it was like a high cut,
It
low
was.
back,
Yep.
black.
Mm-hmm. We went
So-
out dancing that night.
Yeah,
And yeah, it was like the longest first date ever.
yeah, it was great.
It was awesome.
That's
Yeah.
so cute. So after that first date, how did you guys, obviously you're married now, so how did you get from like first date to getting engaged and then married?
Well, we were dated for probably 3 years, and then throughout that, Demi is not a subtle person at all. Like she drops hints,
Oh, yeah.
and she drops them hard. I'd be like, hey, can you pass the remote? And she'd be like, ooh, that seems like it's more of like a fiance request. And I was like, oh, okay. She did
It
that?
was 3 years.
I was like, all right.
This was not year one, maybe like 2.5 to 3.
Yeah,
So she's like,
fair.
you're currently on boyfriend mode. You need to upgrade to fiance
Okay,
mode.
but also you were like, we should move back to the East Coast to be closer to family. And I was like, I'm not moving across the country again from my boyfriend. Like, if I'm moving across the country with you, we're going to move in together. I can't be your girlfriend
You
anymore.
laid down the law.
She did.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like, I probably would have dated for a while. Like, I'm not ever in any rush to do anything.
Yeah.
And Demi's like, hey, I got a timeline here.
Better put a ring on it.
Yeah.
I love that.
My fingers are still swollen from pregnancy. That's why I'm not wearing my ring.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't fit. They're getting
How
close.
dare you?
I know. The internet's going to be like, are they having troubles?
Trouble in paradise?
I know, right? They'll like pick any little things. You got to be careful. But
Yes.
so you guys are you're dropping these hints and you're being like, okay, I need to put a ring on it. So how did you plan everything out to like propose? What was your proposal story?
Well, Demi grew up in Buffalo, New York, and she has had this lake cottage on Lake Ontario. So, and she's always been telling me about it. Like, we need to go. It's such a great place. Like, I grew up there every summer. I love it. It's my favorite place. And then we moved back to Pittsburgh, and I knew it was getting time. Like, I bought the ring, planning it all out. So I talked to her mom and her sisters and like planned it out. And we were going up on Labor Day. And so I bought like fireworks, got some string lights, like string lights up on the back porch area. So I knew it was going to happen. And this is funny because I wanted it to happen at sundown. It was going to be romantic.
Okay.
But we were at like their neighbor's house for this dinner. And
it was like a cookout with like all the neighbors.
Yeah. So there's a ton of people there. And it's getting later. And I need to get her away from this house so I can do this proposal. And I'm like trying to figure out how to do it. I'm like, Demi, I'm chilly. I need to go get a sweatshirt. Will you come with me? She's like, go get your own sweatshirt.
I was eating dinner still. I was like, slicing my steak. I was like, the house is right there. Just go by yourself.
She's eating her steak, and I'm like, I think you're done. Like, and she's like, don't touch my food. And I'm like, oh my God.
And that's when the fight started.
So I finally like get her away from the house that we were at to walk towards the water and propose. And I wanted to do it by ourselves, but you rushed into the house to go to the bathroom.
Well, I went to get that sweatshirt you didn't even want.
And then Kona, our dog, comes out with us.
Well, then I was like, well, I might as well take the dog for a walk before we go back outside.
So Kona is in like, and then I had somebody take pictures, like hide and take pictures. So Kona's staring at this photographer. She's got like a big camera. She is front and center in all of our proposal pictures, just like mean mugging the photographer. It's great.
That's so cute.
Yeah. But then you lit off like fireworks after the sunset.
Yeah.
And you hung up string lights and we like danced underneath, and all my neighbors knew, and they had like champagne ready for us. Like it was, aside from me just, I guess, being difficult. It was
I feel like that's a common theme usually when women, because I guess like a lot of times like you plan things. So like when they plan something, it just doesn't seem like, I don't know, maybe it's like, it's like, oh, well, just, it ends up.
And it's so hard to like make things right without giving it away. I'm like, Demi, I was like, Demi, what are you gonna wear tonight? I'm gonna wear this, and it was like kind of nice. And you're like, why are you wearing that? We're just going over to the neighbor's house, and you're like, I'm just gonna wear these.
Well, I was like, I asked you to pick out my outfit, and he picked out like this like dress. He's like, Tom, we're having a cookout at my neighbor's. I'm wearing sweats. Like, I don't need to wear anything nice.
So did you wear it or?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no.
No, Tom, you really put in the work. You were really trying.
I know.
She was not happy.
I know. I had some assistance, but it's good.
It ended up being perfect. I wouldn't change it.
It's fun.
So how long have you guys been married?
We have been married for 3 years.
Oh, I was gonna say 2.
Oh,
3 years. Exactly 3 years. Because it was Labor Day.
That was when we got engaged.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Remember, we just had a little 3 years.
Right.
No, Tom counts all the 2 anniversaries.
Right.
Yes.
Each one.
Yes. Thank you, Peter.
It was just like 2 weeks ago, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
true.
man.
3 years.
So I'm not sure. I can't remember. Was it before or after you got married that you got your MS diagnosis?
It was right after, actually.
Okay.
So we got married in August of 2020, and I was officially diagnosed in November on Friday the 13th.
Oh, dang.
2020. Not a good day, not a good year.
Man, dang.
Yeah.
So how did you even know to go to the doctor? And then how was that for you guys' relationship going through all of that as just something new that's become a part of your life now?
Yeah. So I think before I went to the doctors, I was really brushing it aside and attributing it to other things.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, like we got married in August of 2020. We bought this house in August of 2020. And it was COVID. So the rules and regulations of planning the move into the home, planning the wedding, like our invitations and everything was just kind of a mess. And it was so stressful. And I was having a lot of symptoms like a lot of fatigue. My hand was falling asleep at night and like sometimes during the day, and it was more pins and needly feeling. But I thought it was just from like constantly looking stuff up on my phone and, restructuring things and doing different stuff. And like, obviously the stress of planning a wedding in itself is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we were moving. So I was like, all these things that are happening. And I'm just stressed. I just pushed it aside. And then I feel like maybe
Then your eyesight as well.
like 2 weeks after the wedding, my right eye started having all of these problems. And I thought I was just having dry eyes or allergies, or I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. And I was getting these orbs, and then it just continually got worse until one morning I woke up and I just could not see out of my right eye. And thankfully, Tom's cousin is married to an ophthalmologist. I texted her. She's like, yeah, come in and see me. I'll, take a look and see what's going on. So I went, and I think I saw her that day. She was able to squeeze me in, and she did a look at my eyes, and she said, you need to go to the ER. This is something neurological. So that is actually what kind of was the catalyst of me getting an official diagnosis. And what I was experiencing is called optic neuritis. And that was kind of the thing that made me go get it checked.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, they actually sent me home at first. We did an MRI, and they were like, no, everything's good. Just go home. And on the drive home, they called back and they were like, hey, we actually have to do another MRI with contrast this time. You have a lesion on your optic chiasm, which is where like the nerves cross. So then I had to go back to another MRI, and then they admitted me to the hospital, and I had a few spinal taps, a bunch of blood work, and all these other tests. And then a few weeks later, as I said, later that November, I was diagnosed officially with MS.
That's still very lucky that you have a family member who was willing to take you to
That
look
day.
at that.
Yeah.
But then also what's crazy is that the healthcare system, they brushed you off at first, and then they had to bring you back.
Yes.
They didn't take you
Then
seriously or anything.
You always
Even-
talk about like advocating for yourself.
Being your own best advocate is like my number one preaching word of advice for any medical situation, and just like in life too, like be your own best advocate. But even with my spinal tap, the first one they did bedside, and I told I don't know what he was, the guy administering it, I said, I can feel everything that you're doing. Please stop. And he's like, no, you'll feel the pressure. I was like, this isn't pressure. I feel the needle going into my
And
back.
the needle's like this big.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's no
felt-
joke.
And then
It's
he
scary.
tried to like pull the fluid out. I was like, I can feel that. You need to stop. I was screaming, crying. I was in complete shock, and he just wasn't listening to me.
Unbelievable.
And it was so
It was traumatic for me, and I wasn't even the one going through it.
It
I
was
like, oh my
like I had
gosh.
PTSD from it. It was
man.
awful.
Yeah,
It was
it's
awful.
tough.
So when you got your diagnosis, how was that for both of you?
I mean, they do say in sickness and in health. So I signed up. No, it was tough. I mean, we just had gotten married. We were just on cloud 9 after that, and then almost immediately this diagnosis came. A few months later, and it was just scary because we don't know what it means and how immediate the effects of it will be. So, but I think I do think it's gotten us closer. We talk about a lot more that we probably wouldn't have addressed right away. So
Right.
I think that's the silver lining, but it is difficult to see you go through it.
Yeah. And like, I would say, even piggybacking off of what Tom said, MS is a snowflake disease. It affects everyone so differently. And while I was being diagnosed, I was in an active relapse. Like I was having difficulty walking. I was having difficulty, I couldn't see out of my right eye for 9 to 12 weeks. Like it was a while.
Wow.
I was having vision problems. And we just didn't know what the future looked like. And, we're both former teachers. We really wanted to have a family, and just so many things were put on hold. But as you said, it really prepared us for like the rest of our relationship leading up to now, because we had to navigate such a difficult time. And we really were like, we have to be vulnerable. We have to communicate exactly how we're feeling, because otherwise it's just going to cause just so much tension. And especially when it comes to like, a chronic illness.
Right. And I feel like as like your day to day, I just think back to like when we were newlyweds, like you're kind of in this like blissful period.
Yeah.
So then to have something come up, and then, it's a health concern, and I feel like it could really throw things off. But it's awesome to hear that you guys were able to have it work as like it brought you guys closer together, have those important conversations that you need to have. And then, now you're doing much better, and you're able to figure out how to basically move forward and have a beautiful family. So it's still like everything still was able to work out. And that actually brings me to my next question, which is about you guys getting into social media, because you got into social media. When was it? Was it after? It was after your diagnosis, because I found you guys. I think I saw one of your posts about your MS and like your morning routine with MS. And I feel like that was just really like, for people who, like for me, who I don't really know too much about it, to see someone who's like young and like you're still, I feel like people see you and you're like, oh, they would never know. So
Right.
it was like one of those things where it was really great to be able to like just learn and be like, oh, okay, like I didn't realize that this was something that she was diagnosed with. And then I started following you guys in your journey. So how did you get into social media, and like when did that happen?
Who got it? Who into social media?
I mean, you downloaded the app,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely. Sorry, our dog is
Oh no, it's
doing her
just
thing.
okay. Yeah, let her
But
live
it
her
was
life.
no intention that we had to
wasn't
do
planned at
this.
all.
We posted a few silly videos.
Kona. No.
She's fine. She's fine.
Yeah. Oh.
It was just like the ringing. That's all.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
yeah. She can
Yeah.
play. She's fine.
But we posted a few silly videos we didn't think were gonna go anywhere or do anything.
There's like some silly. Do you remember that wave filter?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
It was like Tom like dancing and the wave filter was on, and I posted it and like it went viral for some reason.
Yeah,
Like
and
I couldn't tell you why.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I remember posting on TikTok and I was like, I'm cool to post these weird videos on TikTok, these silly things, because no one's gonna see it. My brothers don't have TikTok. My cousins don't have. None of my friends do. No one's ever gonna know. And then like,
Whoops.
Oh.
couple months later, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really just an accident, I think.
It was. But I think like we were very early adopters of TikTok Live.
Okay.
And we would talk about MS a lot, like
Mhm.
from a person experiencing it and having it, but also as like a partner perspective.
Mhm.
So I feel like it was kind of like a really cool time
Yeah.
too for us, because it allowed us to like meet other people who had it, because it's no one really talks about chronic illness all that much. So it was
No,
nice
they
to be able to
don't.
have like that virtual community of people who had it too.
Yeah.
Once you guys started sharing, like you started sharing your funny videos and you started sharing like days in your lives, when did things kind of take off and you were like, oh, this is something that maybe we want to pursue, like, and post regularly?
I would say when Demi started flashing me when I was at work.
Those always had some
That-
high numbers.
Yeah. That people seem to like me trying to like concentrate on this meeting, and Demi's here doing her thing, and I'm like, so no, I think. But then you did have a full-time sales job,
Yeah.
and there was a point where you decided that you were, you
Yeah,
could
it kind
take
of
the leap.
came like at the right time. Like as you said, like those videos were starting. And this was later in that same year, like we started. Oh no, it wasn't. It was a year later. But I was in outside sales, and after my MS diagnosis, because it was COVID, like during that time, everything was hybrid, and I was able to work from home virtually from my computer. But then like my right side gets affected, and stress is a huge inducer of a lot of my symptoms. So my foot would fall asleep, or my foot would be tingly, and I wasn't comfortable driving. And my office was like an hour away, and I was in outside sales, so I was driving all day long. And I reached a point like at work where I was like, I don't feel comfortable driving. And unfortunately, like my employer just wasn't doing the work and doing the effort to make it more accommodating for me. There was a point in time where they were trying to do that, and like 3 days before they changed their mind.
Oh, dang.
And I was like, but I can't do this. And I think it was hard for them because MS is very much an invisible illness, and you can't see the symptoms that I'm experiencing. Like I look fine,
Yeah.
although things are always happening.
And I'm sure with that too, that comes with its own challenges, especially for you too as
Yeah.
a partner, because you're like, I'm not feeling great, but then you look like you're feeling, so you're just like, it's confusing. So you have to really like learn to put two and two together, like you said, like as a partner. Was that difficult for you? Like,
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on with her. I could only go off of what you would tell me, because you can't see it. I couldn't see that you were having numbness in your legs or that you were having vision issues unless you tell me. So yeah,
and I'm definitely a little bit stubborn, and I like to be independent. So it was really hard for me at first, like ask for help and like to actually say like something's wrong. I need you to be there more.
oh,
I don't know what you're saying.
wait, but this is so funny because Peter, I feel like we are mirrors of each other. Like Peter and I are just like, does Demi do this? Does Mariah do? Yes. Yes.
It's hard though. Like it's hard to like even now sometimes like with Nora, I'll be like, hey, do you want to grab this diaper? And then he's just going too slow. So I'm like, I'll grab it.
Yeah.
That's actually me to Mariah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're doing something too slow, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll make a scene too. I'll be
Yeah.
like, if this is a trash bag, and like,
Those TikToks that you see, those are real.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
If you don't
just-
do it within the first like 5 seconds that
Yeah.
she asks, you're gone.
That's amazing.
Oh god.
That's great.
So back to your employer. So your employer wasn't really
yeah.
being accommodating. So
So no, I was kind of at this point where I was like, I need to quit. Like I need to quit this job, and I need to either find an inside sales job that I can work from home and I don't have to be in the car all the time, because like it was just putting so much stress on me. Or like maybe I try this social media thing, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, that's fine. I work in corporate America. I can continue to do that. I can find another job easily.
right.
So I kind of just talked to Tom. We had his his job still and his stable salary, and some savings built up for a few months to like make us still be comfortable and allow me to try it. And after 3 months, things were really great. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just keep
Nice.
going.
Nice.
So yeah.
What was your first deal? Your
Oh,
paying
yeah.
deal?
I think it was $300.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
With who?
I completely forget the brand, but we were like, oh my gosh, this is
I
so
don't remember
cool.
that. I
Yeah.
was gonna say it was Rite Aid.
No. No, this was before any like agency or anything. We were like, they're gonna give us $300.
Was it Cricket?
Maybe.
Maybe
I don't
know.
remember, but
Yeah.
we were stoked.
Nice.
I was like, this is too much. I don't think that I can do this.
Yeah, it was cool. It was exciting though.
Yeah, it's fun getting like the brand deals, especially when you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you were just
Oh my
kind of
gosh,
like
yeah.
just making videos, and then a brand's like, "Hey, you want to work
Yeah.
with us?" Like that is really exciting, and it's really cool that given the situation that you were in, like it's not necessarily like it's a difficult situation. You're trying to figure it out. Like your health was a big factor, and then finding a new job. And something that is so great about social media is it gave you an avenue to be able to do what you needed to do for yourself, but also provide, like bring in another income.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's really great about just everything that comes with social media, but
Absolutely.
also, yeah, like the ability to be home and all of that. So while you guys were sharing your journey, you started going through IVF.
Mhm.
So what kind of inspired you to share that journey?
I think a lot of it had to do with sharing our experience with MS. I think just talking about something that isn't typically talked about really made our journey easier as a couple, because we were bouncing things off of other people.
Right.
And you
You were letting it out as well. Like,
yeah,
you were
Yeah.
letting
It was a
in.
great like soothing like technique,
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
It's nice when you're sharing something that you're going through to see other people are going through it too
Yes.
as
Yeah.
well. I feel like it's always
that
like,
you're not
oh,
alone.
yeah, it kind
Yes.
of gives you
Like,
like
you don't
a
wish
sense
it
of
upon anyone, but
community.
it's like nice knowing that
And-
it's not just you.
And fertility is definitely
yeah.
one of those subjects where
Mhm.
there's so many people going through it, so many people who don't talk about it,
Mhm.
and then
And
by
it can look like so many different things
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
and having us talk about it, so many people wrote in and
Yeah.
told us their stories, so we were encouraged by that, and we're like, let's just keep doing this. And I mean, I was a little uncomfortable at first just because I am uncomfortable mostly, but we decided we're just gonna keep going, and it was great. I mean, it's like you said, it's a good way for us to talk about it, and then to kind of give other people an avenue for them to talk about it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, so when you guys originally started, because you didn't start obviously at your IVF journey. I guess when I asked that question, I asked it wrong. So you started originally sharing about infertility,
Yes.
and then through that, you guys decided to do IVF.
Kind of. So we had a miscarriage in 2022.
Mhm.
In January, we experienced a miscarriage, and we didn't talk about it at all for 2 months.
Oh wow!
And it was really, really isolating, and it was hard navigating through it. And at the time, like both of my sister-in-laws were pregnant, and there was just
wow.
some friends were pregnant. There was just a lot of people around me, and like so happy for them. But at the same time, when you're going through a loss, it's hard to be in a situation like that.
Mhm.
And once we felt comfortable after that miscarriage, we were like, this is something that needs to be talked about, just how MS was something that needs to be talked about. And then
Right.
we started sharing, and we, talked about our miscarriage. And then that started in April. And then later that April, I got pregnant again, and I had an ectopic pregnancy. So then we talked about that in real time.
Right.
And
so
then-
just to explain, like, what's an ectopic pregnancy?
Yes. So an ectopic pregnancy is when the embryo is growing outside of the uterus. So in my situation, they couldn't locate it. We didn't know where it was. And prior to the miscarriage, I had learned that I had fluid in my right fallopian tube. It's called a hydrosalpinx. And we thought that perhaps the ectopic pregnancy was in that tube because those two typically go hand in hand. So they couldn't locate it, and they decided we need to do emergency surgery because if they don't end that pregnancy, your tube can rupture and you can have internal bleeding and it can become fatal.
Oh, wow.
So we did emergency surgery, and in surgery, they found that the ectopic was not in my right tube, it was in my left. And prior to surgery, we said, well, remove my right tube to prevent any further complications with the hydrosalpinx. So I don't have my right fallopian tube. And then with the left tube, we told them to keep it so that I can get pregnant in the future. But we did methotrexate, which is a very strong drug to terminate the pregnancy. So we did that. And then after that, we decided to move forward with IVF because in the left tube, there can be scar tissue and that can create another ectopic. So at the time, we were just like, we've been through a lot. We really, really want to start a family. It's already been pushed back with the MS and the miscarriage and the ectopic and a year of negative tests prior to that. So we decided to do IVF because it just bypasses the fallopian tubes and inserts right in your uterus. And then we shared that whole entire journey too.
Yeah, a lot of needles in your butt and a lot of drugs you're taking, and it's a whole thing. I mean, IVF is not for the faint of heart. It's a lot.
I'm so sorry.
I wanted to say, like, I feel like hearing all this, like, you guys went through a lot, and with social media, do you feel like you kind of got through things because of you had an outlet? Like, never mind just sharing, like making content out of it, kind of thing, but just like treating it as like a diary or a journal, like a therapy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so for me.
Yeah, I mean, you know people only because you were sharing, or we both do, only because we're sharing our journey, and they share with us their journey, and it's a lot of overlap, and it's a great community. I'd say it is a community.
It's a club that no one wants to be a part of, for sure, but the support in it is just overwhelming, and the amount of other fellow IVF mamas who I talk to, or anyone going through IVF or miscarriage, like just being able to bond over those things is absolutely incredible. So like, honestly, it wasn't for the purpose of creating content around it. It was just to bring awareness to those subjects and also to form that community. Like, that was number one. And also just like, as you said, like, you found us like, oh, what is this all about? I'm not privy to this. And I feel like you probably know so many people in your life who have gone through some sort of infertility struggles or IUI or IVF, and just having an insight of what that actually looks like. Because I had no idea beforehand.
No, me either. And I definitely feel like one of the things about you guys' page that is so great is that you really educate people on the journey, but you're showing it in a way that is, I don't know, I guess it's just so organic. Like, people really do feel like they're right there with you through this entire journey. And I feel like, it's just very candid, and I feel like very real. And I feel like when people are following it, they're learning, and they learn to be, more respectful. Like, when they're asking people questions about like, oh, when are you going to start a family? Because that's another thing that people ask all the time, and they don't even think, that they could be struggling. So I think that it's really great that you have like taken people through that to educate them, or to be like, hey, you're not alone, we're going through this. And like, I feel like you're very supportive to your community. So I'm really sorry that you guys had to go through that, but I'm also like, I feel like you should be really proud of how you've been able to take something that is so difficult and make it something that can be educational towards others and supportive. So
thank you.
Yeah. So now you guys have a beautiful baby.
We do.
And Nora is here. Nora Jude. Yeah.
Yes.
Upstairs taking a nap.
How has that journey into parenthood been for you guys? Now stepping in.
Amazing.
It's coming up on 4 months, right?
It's 4 months.
Yeah, it should be 4 months on Friday.
And it's the best. We're obsessed with her. I think I'd say, it becomes like 4:00 p.m. and I'm like, where did the time go throughout the day? And then I'm just like, all we did all day was just like stare at her and like laugh. And
they're perfect.
They're perfect.
They're perfect.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we are obsessed with her. It's just the best. She's so cute and
so sweet.
She's the best. She's the best.
Oh, it's been so great watching you guys too. Like become parents and everything.
Yeah.
Something that I think that a lot of people I know, they're going to be like, you have to ask them, what made you guys decide to protect her privacy in the way that you do?
I feel like I'll answer that
Yeah.
because I'm a little bit more on like the mama bear side,
It's good.
which is like kind of reverse. Like
I thought I was gonna be the one I think we should pull back a little bit, but no, you took the reins on that.
I think that, and I totally understand from the perspective of if you went through that journey with us, like of course you want to see what she looks like, and I feel so guilty of the people who have really good intentions and they just want to see her. Like I feel so bad because I get it. Like I totally understand that, but at the same time, you guys know, but like the internet can just be such a wild place, and the creepy messages and DMs that you get that are teetering on the side of like child predator. It's like, it's disgusting and it's overwhelming. And as her mom and as, you know, her primary caregiver and protector of her peace, you know, as it was getting closer to a due date, these messages were becoming more and more frequent. And I was just like, you know what? I don't think that I want to like bring her into this. She doesn't have consent to it. And like, I don't want to, you know, play into that like dark side of the internet. And I think it's because we're so open about our journey that there was a lot of light onto her. So I totally understand why. But yeah, I think it just really came down to like protecting your peace and keeping her away from that. And I think that, you know, our channel it's us and it was our journey into parenthood, and it's still our journey as parents. And I've really grown to a place of like, you can still see what that journey of us being parents looks like and how we interact with our daughter and what our day-to-day looks like. And you can see that without seeing her face. And that's kind of where my comforts are like right now.
That's great. Do you want to say anything about it?
No, I think we landed in a good spot. Like I'm happy with what we're sharing and how we're continuing, and that we have Nora in the picture, but not necessarily, you know, focal. So
yeah,
I think it's a good thing.
And it's not like if anyone ever sees us out, like they see what she looks like. It's not like we're trying to like hide her from everybody. It's just
they're
like
gonna put a paper bag over her. Like
sorry,
walking to the grocery store.
Can't see her.
No, I think that it's like, I really think it's great that you guys have decided what your boundaries are. And I think like you shouldn't feel bad at all. Like she's your child, you know what I mean? And you guys have been through so much to get to this point. And I think the people who have followed you, like your true supporters, they understand. They understand that the internet is a scary place. And also just navigating parenthood from just being new to it. Like it's just, you're new, you're still learning, you're still trying to decide like what things freak me out. Like, you know, you see those funny jokes like mom of one versus mom of three. Like, of course, when you have 3 kids, like you've been doing this for a while.
You've been put through the ringer.
I love the mom of 3 of her. They just like hand off the baby to some random person, like, and then mom of one's like, oh, you're perfect and precious. That's us right now. Yeah.
That's literally, So I feel like people just, you know, respecting your boundaries. And I think it's great that you feel comfortable, both of you guys feel comfortable enough in your decision to just say like, hey, no, this is my kid and I have made this decision, and follow it or don't, you know?
No one's making you stay.
Although
we love our community.
Of course.
Still doesn't stop anybody from announcing, you know,
oh gosh,
I'm leaving, I'm unfollowing.
You're like, bye.
It's okay, sorry.
No,
I mean, but I'm definitely the people pleaser in me is like I get it. Like I totally understand. I understand where the people with good intentions are coming from. 100%.
Yeah, they definitely, most people, and that's the thing, that 1% is like, that's the scary percent, right? The 99% is
it's
like,
unfortunate, but
it really is. You just need that one person to ruin it all.
I know, but
and
I think
it is hard too, because there are, you know, just pictures I'll take of her. She's just so cute. I want to share. Like I want people to see how cute she is. She's adorable. But it's,
she's
you know,
perfect.
that's the one thing that I'm like, oh God, this is like, she's perfect. And it's like, we'll
I did
just save that
accidentally show
one.
her on a live once though.
She's
like
that's
my
gonna
phone.
be hard
She's
too.
on like my phone background, and someone did something. I was like, no, see, and then I was like, oh.
But I don't. Yeah.
But I mean, that's.
Yeah,
beside the
well,
point.
I think that's great. Like I had mentioned to you when we had Aiden, we were like only like a year-ish into our social media journey. And I hadn't even really thought about it.
Yeah.
So I think that it's another great conversation starter for like people who have children on social media, how much do you want them to be on social media?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really feel like you guys are you're doing a great job. And
you.
the people who get it.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
And you guys are doing such a great job too. I feel like the way you incorporate Aiden, it's so organic. It's just you
Yeah.
living your life. It isn't, yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
There's definitely a good way to do it, and we are thinking you're doing a
We
great
still
way
we
to
still
do
make
We love you
mistakes.
guys.
but-
Oh, yeah. Like we have our moments where we're like,
Who doesn't? We're-
yeah.
it.
yeah.
Demi and I have never made a mistake ever.
You guys are
You're
perfect. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, on that note, I want to bring you guys at the end of our episodes. We like to do a little advice segment. So
Okay.
I am going to read you guys. Somebody wrote in and they need a little advice. And you
I
guys,
love
I
it.
don't think I'm certified to do
oh,
this section.
I'll let
Yeah.
you wanna answer it, or is there one for each of us?
you'll both be able to answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Whatever your thoughts and feelings are. on
yeah,
Okay.
whatever your thoughts and feelings are.
Focus.
All right. So here's the situation. My husband and I have been married for 3 years, and I recently discovered that my husband always badmouths me with his family, and nobody in his family respects me anymore. He puts me down because I think he thinks I'm not as educated as he is. He also mentioned that his siblings are more special than mine because they grew up with both parents, and I only grew up with one parent. Do you think it's worth staying with him, or should I move on and find someone who can love me the way I deserve?
That's a good question.
Woo.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's
So
a
that's a big one.
That
It
is a
is.
big one. I think like your wife, your husband, that is your person. Like that's through and through. Because I grew up in a very close-knit family. I have 4 siblings and we're all within a year of each other. So we're like each other's best friends.
Mhm.
So and when you do that and you bring in someone new to the family, like it's hard to kind of bring them in and make them be a part of the family. So I think, I mean, I don't know, but you're my person. I'm your person. You can't badmouth some, I would
No,
never
you can't
do that
make
in front of
someone
my,
feel
my
ostracized in
not
their
at all.
own extended family.
No.
That's awful. And I think, for a period of time, it was me and my single mom.
Mhm.
And I couldn't imagine walking into Tom's house and them making me feel like I was lesser of a person because of the situation of my upbringing
yeah.
from time to time. And, that's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling ever to be ostracized. And especially that feeling coming from your husband.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
hard. But her question at the end was, what's her ultimatums here?
Mhm.
It's, if you haven't already, I would 100% say, like, you need to sit down with your partner
Mhm.
and talk to them and say, hey, I don't know if you even realize you're doing this, but you're making me feel X, Y, and Z, especially around your family. Because I'm sure like his family is who he feels most comfortable with, but is he
Right.
doing that with close friends too?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
There's a difference between venting and
Right.
like
Yeah.
Tearing someone
disrespecting
down.
your
yeah.
your person, and you
Yeah.
cannot disrespect your person.
no, I definitely think that's a conversation that they need to have, and she needs to express how she's feeling. And if it's something that, he's open to acknowledging and open to working through, then, maybe he just didn't even realize he was
Yeah.
doing it.
Mhm.
Hopefully that was more so
Hopefully.
the situation.
yeah.
If not, listen, you are an amazing woman. You are incredible, and you can do all hard things. And if you need to start fresh and find someone who values you for your true worth, then go for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Go off queen. Peter,
Yes.
I know you like to weigh in on these. What's your
I think for sure, like before even thinking about leaving, staying or leaving, talk about it. Even if
Yeah.
you have to bring in a third person, a mediator, a
Yeah.
therapist, something like that,
Therapy's
just talk
amazing.
Talk it out first. The other thing too, though, is like with families, yes, it's great for the families to open their arms and welcome you in, but it's not their responsibility, and it's your guys' responsibility as a couple. And for me, it's I started a family with Mariah. Mariah
Yes.
is my family.
Right.
That's the family I'm gonna put first,
Yep.
not my family where I came from.
Yeah.
And that, maybe that's not for everybody, but that's how I feel. Like,
No.
this is my family. You're my priority. You, Aiden, Lily. It's all my family. So
Yeah.
I would never go talk behind your back, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vent or disrespect like that. But
Yeah. It's all
think
about communication for
communication,
Truly.
and that's where the sitting down, talking about it, making sure that, you know, you both understand what you're feeling, you know, like what are his reasons for that? Like, I'm sure it's frustration, but like, why does he feel?
But why are you tearing them down?
Yeah, that's not fair. Like, frustrated or not, you shouldn't be tearing them down.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on to our podcast. And you guys have such an amazing story, and you're such for all of the things that you guys have been through, you're so like, you come across as so like positive.
I
and,
feel
like,
lighter just talking to you.
Yeah, like you guys your energy's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Stop it. Stop it.
and we love you.
We love you
we're
guys.
friends outside of this. It's the best.
Yeah.
The Gerbers, good people.
Oh.
Good people.
Good people. That is it for today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Bye.